Hey guys, what's going on here? Hey, it's Gundock, and I'm going to bring you something a little special today. I play a lot of PC games as well, and this one is really, I've been playing this one a lot lately. This is called Wargame European Escalation. It's a real-time strategy game set during the Cold War, so it's late Cold War, so between the years 1975 to 1985. We'll go ahead and do a replay here. This is a game I just finished, and we destroyed some dudes here. So let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Now, being a child of the 80s, I really like this time period. This is when I grew up. So, you know, our big threat wasn't global terrorism. It was the red commie bastards. But like I said, this is a real-time strategy game. Basically, you know, you're getting units, and you've got to capture these resource points here, marked with these deployment zones. The number above each resource point dictates how many points you get, you know, as resource. It's you know, and you use the resource points to buy your armies here. So I'm starting off here in Alpha. It's blue, so it's under our control. The zones with the arrow, that just means that these are zones where your reinforcements can come in. So if you don't hold any of these zones with any of the arrows, then you can't spawn in troops here. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit, just because this is during the deployment phase here. This here is a fob. That yellow bars, you've got to worry about things like ammo and fuel for your vehicles. So that's what that yellow bar is. That depletes, you know, as you restock. I'm just building my units here. I've got these guys here, which I just bought these, and these guys are freaking awesome. Inside these Hueys, these two choppers here, I've got two groups of Delta Force, which are ridiculously powerful, and you're going to see that later on. But as you can see, I'm placing some of my units here that I have available to me. I've got some Roland anti-air tanks, some French AMX-10Ps. I believe I've got some Chaucers in there, which are good anti-tank troops. Oh, I think we're ready to go here, so I'm going to slow it back down to real time. Some Saracens, which got some blowpipe British guys in it. It's my command vehicle here. You can only capture control points if you have one of these vehicles here with a star, a command vehicle, essentially. My Bradleys here, you know, they've got the binoculars, which means that they're really good at scouting, so they can see really far. Right now I've got it setting to neutral. We're going to change that, and we'll just change it from my view, because you do have to worry about line of sight in this game. Got some Apaches. I just bought those. Not quite sure if they're worth the points, but we're going to see. My partner here, we played a 2v2. Looks like he's got a good mix of stuff as well. A couple tanks, a Kiowa Scout helicopter. He's got a bunch of Bradleys. I'm guessing he's got some U.S. infantrymen in it. Bradleys are nice. They're powerful, and they can hold up pretty good. So during this game here, I'm going for Charlie because I want this other lane of replenishment here. That way I can get my troops into the battle a lot quicker instead of having to bring them all the way back from Alpha, you know, or even India. So I'm going after Charlie. My buddy's going after Bravo. But look, they just took Echo, and look what I'm going to do here. I'm about to drop off my Delta Force. I'm going to put them in these woods. Now, the Delta Force in this game, they're really good, as you would expect. They pack a lot of AT, and they're pretty just... All in all, they're really good. They're really expensive. And this is a bug right now. The helicopter rotor blades don't turn when you're watching it in replay. They do in the real game. So, okay. There they are. There's a Delta Force. We can get down, take a look at them. And they're going to move into these woods. I'm going to set them up on an ambush. I tell them not to fire, so I turn all their weapons off. And I'm just going to sit and wait, because I'm figuring, you know, that they're going to try to roll down this main avenue here. You want to use roads because not only, you know, like I said before, you have to use fuel. You know, your vehicles use up fuel and they use up ammunition. So traveling on the roads uses less fuel as opposed to going cross country. And I'm just getting set up here, getting all my units in place. I have a feeling there's going to be a big fight here at Charlie. They've already taken Echo, so I'm guessing they're going to be coming here. I've got my Apaches on standby. And let's just pause the game here and let's take a look. I'm going to go to the neutral look, which shows all the players' units. And it probably won't do that until I hit play. Okay, pause. So here they are. Now it looks like that they are helicopter heavy. Look at that. They've got 4 Hinds there. They've got a M9 hip, 4 more Hinds, a few tanks, few BMPs, some recon units. But all in all, they don't look too powerful here. Now, these PT-85s, recon units, but he's got some of these guys. These guys are what I'm worried about right here. You can see this 4 BTR, these BTRs here. The little icon with the little infantryman with a rocket launcher sitting above the name of the vehicle group. That means that it's loaded up with some anti-air or anti-tank guys. So that could cause a problem. He's got some T-62Ms coming down the road. Not quite sure where they're going to go. But let's play and see how it goes here. Now I'm hoping, you know, I'm putting a lot of big gamble here on these Delta Force guys. So hopefully it pans out. We can see what they have. Pause it again. You know, they're packing Carl Gustavs. They got a 701 meter range. Accuracy is a 10, which is really exceptional. And the AP is your armor penetration. It's a 12. Higher number, better. So that's really good as well. Any number that's turquoise means it's really, really good. Green numbers are, you know, average. Yellow numbers, a little bit below average. And then red numbers, obviously, aren't so great. Orange numbers are, you know, a little bit better than red. But let's see what these Delta Force guys do to his army here. He doesn't expect it. Again, because if he's looking at it from his view here, he doesn't know my Delta Force is in there. He doesn't even know. All he knows is I took Charlie. He doesn't realize that I have some really, really nasty troops. And it looks like his BTRs got bogged down. So again, let's go to me. Now, see, they start spotting guys. They don't know what it is, but because they've got a good range, they start spotting them. And he thinks he's going to cut across the woods and take me out. He's going to try to set up a defensive line in these woods, but it's just not going to work out too great for him. You're going to see that here in just a second when I unleash hell with Delta Force here. Look at that. Tanks are just disappearing right and left. Now see, every time a vehicle dies, every time I kill one of his vehicles, I earn that vehicle's points, essentially, which is going to help me out. That was a big one. That was a 40-point kill. He had some infantry packed inside there. And look, I brought in the Apaches. Apaches are going to just rain havoc on them. Now I'm going to lose Delta Force, and that's okay. I'm fine with that, because what they've done, essentially, they have stalled his advance. They have put him on the back foot. He's lost a lot of vehicles, and you know, he's probably thinking, you know, what the hell? And I'm getting some support from these guys, from my Brads and other guys, but I just cleaned his clock in those woods. That was a bad day for the Warsaw Pact in those woods right there. I just ruined a lot of Christmases because a lot of daddies aren't coming home to celebrate. So let's see here. What else does he have? His partner looks like what's going on over here on the right side of the battlefield. Take a look. Not too much. And right now I'm just setting up. I end up sending my Apaches back to base to get healed and refitted. As you can see, you know, the flashing icon means that you know, they need to be repaired because they're pretty beat up right now. As you can see, they're panicked. Their armor's pretty low. They've used most of their Hellfires, and they need to go back. And right now they're routing. And again, that's a bug there, so don't pay any attention to that. But they're routing, but they rally and get back in the fight here later on. You'll see. Let's go back to my view here. Actually, let's go to his view. All he sees, you know, obviously my Apaches in the air, and that's it. And he stopped. He stopped cold. And, you know, these woods are burning. You know, his guys did not have a good day. He lost a lot of units in those woods just from the Delta Force and that helicopter attack. And I'm using my Hueys over here as kind of scouts, just to see exactly what he's got. These Hueys aren't really going to play a major role left in the battle. They were just transport from for the Delta Force units. So I'm just using them as scouts now, even though I know that, you know, he's still got quite a bit here. So I took my guys out. I told them to get out of their vehicles. That's these Chaucers. They're pretty decent guys. They pack quite a punch. Accuracy 8, AP 11 with their laws. So they're all right. And now I'm bringing some heavy hitting tanks in. I don't see any reason to buy the Abrams just because. Oh, look at this. He's trying to. He brought that group of helicopters down here, but my rolling down here kind of stopped him cold in his tracks down there as well. Anyway, I could buy Abrams tanks, but they're really expensive. These are, not in my opinion, just as good, but they do work well. They've got decent accuracy, decent armor penetration, and they have ATGM, anti-tank guided missiles, which are fairly accurate and very powerful. And they're going to play a big part in my defensive line here, as you're going to see coming up. And my Hueys are getting shot up, but again, they're getting low on fuel too. I think they end up landing somewhere down here because they run out of gas, which is okay. My buddy's bringing in a super, no, it's not a super Chinook. It's just regular Chinook supply. Again, you can call in, you know, vehicles to supply, or you can bring your vehicles all the way back here to your fobs, like I did with my Apaches. And as you can see, the yellow bar's going down, so they're about halfway out. Or you can bring it in, you know, you can airlift supplies as well. Now, as it is right now, we've got the bottom half of the map. They've got a pretty good chunk. They've got Delta, which is a 3-point spot, which is fairly, that's quite a lot. The only problem is that they lost a huge part of their army right here. So just starting out, you know, they didn't start on the good foot, but, you know, they're trickling points. They definitely have the point cap on us. But it's not going to matter much. And you guys will see. So right now I'm going to speed it up a little bit, just because right now we're just kind of taking it easy, trying to fill each other out. You know, the initial volleys have been fired, and everybody's kind of waiting. I'm bringing in some Milan tanks. These are anti-tank tank destroyers, anti-tank vehicles. They got an autocannon and some anti-tank guided missiles. Let's speed it up a little bit more. And as you can see, I'm bringing my my Apaches. You know, they're back in the fight. They're refitted, refueled, good to go. So how do you play this game? What you have to do is basically every time you fight, you earn command stars, depending on how well you did, how many objectives you capped, and XP. With those command stars, you can start buying units for your deck. Now, there's over something like 350, 400 different units, and you can see here he's supplying all his units with his Chinook. There's over 350 different units for the Warsaw Pact forces and the NATO forces. And, you know, each unit has a specific command star purchase price. So say like the Abrams, for instance, the M1A1 Abrams, or the M1, just the basic M1 Abrams, you know, it's 8 command stars to unlock. Once you unlock it, it's unlocked for good. And then you can put it in your deck. Now, you can have 25 unit cards in your deck. And depending on, you know, whether it's, you know, it's your deck's broken down between logistics, recon, support, tanks, infantry, and vehicles and helicopters. But you can have 25 different units, and I think, yeah, I'm trying to probe him here with my little scout cars, because I know he's in there. I just want to see how he would react and what kind of fire I was getting. Obviously, he's got some like BMPs or, you know, some quick-firing vehicles in there, because I didn't really see any heavy-hitting shells come out of there. But I probed him and lived. I know he's there. And now I'm just going to kind of, I think I hit him with my Apaches. Not really sure. I don't remember. But I think that's what happens. Oh, yeah, no, my partner here, he calls in a Kiowa helicopter, an OH-58D. He's going to scout him out. So he's got great viewing range, man. He can see there's some BTRs down there, some T-62s. That could be a problem. But I've got Apaches. So he scouts them out, and then I'm going to get my guys in the fight. Apaches, they're on the move. You can see they're moving now. They're getting their load up, and so are my MBT-70s. And you can see somebody just died. Apaches are getting, you know, they're getting some with those Hellfires. I almost feel bad for these guys, but not really. You know, that, look at that platoon of tanks is now down to 1. And there he goes. He just lost all his tanks right there. He's got another group of T-62s, but again, I've got a pretty good lineup here with Leopard 1A5s and 2 Bradleys. And my tank killers, my tank destroyers, remember? I brought those in a couple minutes ago, and they're doing work. My Apaches are getting hit a little bit, so I'm going to go back, refit, refuel, and get them back in the fight. But, you know, here comes his semi-helicopter rush. But you know, I've got Rolands and I've got these lab blowpipe guys, and they're going to take out some of their choppers. I also called in some artillery. So I got these M109A2s. As you can see, you know, I knew all his dudes were there. Or he had quite a few. Well, he did. But we're calling RT, and he counterfires on me with his artillery. His artillery is firing all the way over here from Gulf. That's where his artillery is. He's got these Mistas. He obviously knows where I am because I've been bugging him all day over here at Charlie. And he does actually get quite a few kills on me up here. He stunned my front line here, my tanks and my APCs. And he kills quite a few infantry. I know these helicopters are coming, so I call in these Rolands. They're coming in, and I believe they get a few kills here. Let's take a look. Yeah, you just got a chopper kill there with the Roland anti-air. You can see, man, he's kind of putting a hurting on me. He even routed my command vehicle. So you notice Charlie is no longer under my control. It's not blue, even though I have a command vehicle in here. The reason why is because you can only claim a zone if that command vehicle is stopped in it. If it's moving, it doesn't count. So you can see I stopped it. He's still shaking, and it goes blue, and we recap it. He's got these Fagos. They're anti-tank infantry, but they're not much of a problem at all. You can see I'm gonna shell them again. These guys are gonna get hurt pretty bad. Artillery's coming down on their heads. Steel rain. So as I was saying, and yeah, I accidentally moved my command vehicle a little bit too far out, so he's no longer in the zone. But I catch it pretty quickly and move him back in there. And look, he's building this mass tank rush here. He's got two platoons of he's got a group of T-62Ms and T-64As. But you know, it's going to be a non-issue for me. I'm going to ruin his day. My Apaches refitted, refueled, back in the fight. You really do kind of have to micromanage. God, that's a dirty artillery barrage. You do have to micromanage your units, but it's not too bad. It's when you get in the bigger games where, you know, each person's got, you know, like 3,000 points to spend on their armies, and then it gets kind of ridiculous. I like playing the 1,500 to 2,000 point armies. Let's go back to my view here, see what I can see. God, he stunned that whole line right there with that artillery barrage. And then you can see I had to retreat some of my vehicles, my Bradleys and my Leopards. I had to pull them out of there because they were getting shelled. But just in time, my Apaches get on station, and then hell fires away. And then all these tanks go bye-bye. So it was a pretty good battle. It's just, you know, I really think it was that Delta Force Apache assault ambush right in the beginning that really kind of set the tone for this battle. But as I was saying about the deck, let me go back to that. So you have 25 slots in your deck, vehicle slots, that you can fill up with, you know, different vehicles, different units rather. And then as you gain, you know, each game is set at a specific point value. So this, I think, was a 1,500 point game where we each had 1,500 points. Every player had 1,500 points to start purchasing their units out of their deck. You earn more points to purchase units as you capture these zones. So right now, every second, we are earning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 5 points every second. And that's split between, you know, both teammates. So yeah, so, you know, as you earn points, you can start calling in more units. You can see I'm calling in some AMX 10Ps. I believe these are just regular infantry, except they've got anti-tank infantry in there with there. They may just be regular infantry. Let's take a look here. Info units. Yeah, it's just regular infantry. But, you know, I'm just doing it to bolster up my line. I'm also calling in some flak panzers, some more anti-aircraft, because my buddy had told me that, you know, he had his Kiowa up there, and he said, hey, you've got a lot of Heinz coming in. And, you know, we've got 5 Heinz helicopters coming my way. So I get here just in time. I get set up. I've got 2 groups of Rolands. Or actually, no, I just have my one group of 2 Rolands here. I still have some of my blowpipes. As you can see, the Rolands, there they go. And then all these autocannons and all this fire. You know, those helicopter pilots didn't stand a chance. And kaboom. There's another red Rusky down. And then the flak panzers are over here guarding my left flank. I move my Apaches up, spot something in the woods. I can't tell what it is, but I don't care. They need to be killed. And killed they are. And then he bugged out with his other helicopters. He said, screw that. So I've pretty much locked the left side of the map here. You know, he just doesn't have the units or the resources anymore to mount an effective offensive. You know, he's trying to bring these tanks in, these 262Ms and these two T-64As, but you know, I've just got too much here for him to deal with. Yeah, he doesn't know how to deal with my Apaches. You notice he hasn't brought any anti-aircraft over here, which was really odd. You should always pack in a little bit of anti-air, because you never know. If he had an anti-air vehicle, those Apaches wouldn't have been as effective in this battle. There would have been no way. So I get my Bradley back up here. I also call in some Himmets. These are my ground resupply vehicles. As you can see, my artillery right here, you know, they're getting low on some rounds. So I take this Himmet and put it over here next to my Leopards. Or actually, I drop them off right here. I refill all these guys because my MBTs are getting ready to, I believe, shell him. And as you can see, everybody's getting refitted, refueled. My Panzers here were kind of taking a beating. I didn't realize it at the time. Just kind of forgot about them, that they were out there on the left. And I think I lost one of them. But my MBT-70s, they're in the fight. The Apaches are coming back through. And, you know, they're going to let those Hellfires go. And I've got a Himmet here, too, to refuel, you know, all this stuff right here. So my Leopards, these AMX-10s, my Apaches and my Brads are all going to benefit from that Himmet that was there. And he's just losing units right left. He tries to make a last push, but you know, tanks just don't work against, you know, attack choppers. You know, the Apache was designed to kill tanks. You know, if you don't know anything about the Cold War, you know, a lot of America's arsenal, and the reason why I only know this is A, I'm a history buff, B, I'm a military brat, and C, I was in the Army active duty for close to a decade. So I know quite a bit about this stuff. The Apache was designed to kill tanks. It's a tank-killing helicopter. It's what it's there for. It was there to design to kill Russian tanks. Same thing with the A-10 tank killer, the A-10 Warthog. Because the theory was during the Cold War that if America and Russia ever did get into a scrap, the battleground, you know, the land war would be in basically Germany. It would be that area of the world. Same area that this game takes place. You know, places like the Fulda Gap, you know, those types of things. And it was believed that the Russians just had a huge amount of armor. Lots and lots of tanks. Because even World War II's popular, you know, Soviet tactic was, you know, big tank rushes. Mass infantry, mass armor. So the United States needed to counter that, and they countered that with the Abrams, with the A-10, and again with the Apache. That's how you kill Russian tanks. And it works quite effectively. So yeah, so again, I'm refueling. You can see my Himmet. He's going to give some ammo to my Paladins here. As you can see, down at the bottom. Oh, that's right, end of the game. Their team surrendered, man. They took too much of a beating. They just couldn't handle it anymore. You know, we really put the beating on them. But let's see how we did here. So overall, team kills. Look at the score: 4,807 points to 609. All we had to do was get to 4,000 points. That was our objective, and we did that, and we did it well. They never even came close. Total team, you know, I pretty much carried this team. You know, I got about 3,000 of our 4,800 points here, and he had most of the command points, and that's okay. It was just a good game. They just couldn't do anything. That initial rush really put them on the back foot, and they just never really recovered. But that's Wargame European Escalation. I'll be playing more of it, and I hope to see you guys, you know, soon. I haven't forgotten about Call of Duty. I'm just a little bit burnt out right now, so I'll get some more gun-related videos up. I've got some other ones. I still need to do a dual com with Flexi Links. We've been playing Splinter Cell Conviction, so I'm going to be doing that as well. And if any of you guys, if any of my viewers, end up picking up this game for the PC, let me know. We'll get some games and, we'll record them and we'll commentate on them and we'll have a good time, blowing the hell out of each other. So with that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.